I want to know how God created this world. I am not interested in this or that phenomenon, in the spectrum of this or that element. I want to know God's thoughts, the rest are details. Albert Einstein. The mere formulation of a problem is far more essential than its solution, which may be merely a matter of mathematical or experimental skills. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle, requires creative imagination and marks real advances in science. Albert Einstein. I have deep faith that the principle of the universe will be beautiful and simple. Albert Einstein. It is the theory which decides what we can observe. Albert Einstein. Desire for approval and recognition is a healthy motive, but the desire to be acknowledged is better, stronger, or more intelligent than a fellow being or fellow scholar easily leads to an excessively egoistic psychological adjustment, which may become injurious for the individual and for the community. Albert Einstein. The secret to creativity is knowing how to hide your sources. Albert Einstein. I assert that the cosmic religious experience is the strongest and the noblest driving force behind scientific research. Albert Einstein. To punish me for my contempt for authority, fate made me an authority myself. Albert Einstein. It is harder to crack prejudice than an atom. Albert Einstein. A theory is something nobody believes, except the person who made it. An experiment is something everybody believes, except the person who made it. Albert Einstein. But science can only be created by those who are thoroughly imbued with the aspiration toward truth and understanding. This source of feeling, however, springs from the sphere of religion. To this there also belongs the faith in the possibility that the regulations valid for the world of existence are rational, that is, comprehensible to reason. I cannot conceive of a genuine scientist without that profound faith. The situation may be expressed by an image. Science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. Albert Einstein. Anyone who thinks science is trying to make human life easier or more pleasant is utterly mistaken. Albert Einstein. We owe a lot to the Indians, who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. Albert Einstein. All religions, arts and sciences are branches of the same tree. All these aspirations are directed toward ennobling man's life, lifting it from the sphere of mere physical existence and leading the individual towards freedom. Albert Einstein. If I could remember the names of all these particles, I'd be a botanist. Albert Einstein. Pure logical thinking cannot yield us any knowledge of the empirical world. All knowledge of reality starts from experience and ends in it. Albert Einstein. I have yet to meet a single person from our culture, no matter what his or her educational background, IQ, and specific training, who had powerful transpersonal experiences and continues to subscribe to the materialistic monism of Western science. Albert Einstein. Do you remember how electrical currents and unseen waves were laughed at? The knowledge about man is still in its infancy. Albert Einstein. As soon as man does not take his existence for granted, but beholds it as something unfathomably mysterious, thought begins. Albert Schweitzer. Research is to see what everybody else has seen, and to think what nobody else has thought. Albert Szent-Györgyi. Science has helped us to understand and master ourselves, creating an elevated new form of human life, the wealth and beauty of which cannot be pictured today by the keenest imagination. Albert Szent-Györgyi. Research is four things: brains with which to think, eyes with which to see, machines with which to measure, and, fourth, money. Albert Szent-Györgyi. If any student comes to me and says he wants to be useful to mankind and go into research to alleviate human suffering, I advise him to go into charity instead. Research wants real egoists who seek their own pleasure and satisfaction, but find it in solving the puzzles of nature. Albert Szent-Györgyi. Science has explained nothing. The more we know, the more fantastic the world becomes and the profounder the surrounding darkness. Aldous Huxley. Science is always discovering odd scraps of magical wisdom and making a tremendous fuss about its cleverness. Aleister Crowley. Men give me credit for some genius. All the genius I have lies in this: when I have a subject in hand, I study it profoundly. Day and night it is before me. My mind becomes pervaded with it. Then the effort that I have made is what people are pleased to call the fruit of genius. It is the fruit of labor and thought. Alexander Hamilton. Science, which cuts its way through the muddy pond of daily life without mingling with it, casts its wealth to right and left, but the puny boatmen do not know how to fish for it. Alexander Herzen. Learning is like mercury, one of the most powerful and excellent things in the world in skillful hands, in unskillful, the most mischievous. Alexander Pope. First follow nature, and your judgment frame by her just standard, which is still the same unerring nature, still divinely bright, one clear, unchanged, and universal light. Life, force, and beauty must to all impart, at once the source, and end, and test of art. Alexander Pope.